You can settle an estate without a lawyer, in the same way that you can cut your own hair or remodel your own bathroom. The question isn't, can you do it? The question is, what happens if you get it wrong? Because when you make a mistake painting a room, you repaint it. But when you make a mistake settling an estate, money gets delayed, families stop speaking, and sometimes the person being blamed is you. And here's the part nobody tells you. Most trustees and executors don't realize they're in trouble until they're already deep in it. Hi, I'm Darlynn Morgan. For over 25 years, I've helped trustees and executors navigate trusts, probate, and estate administration. But I've also sat in that chair personally as a trustee myself. So I understand both sides, the legal side and the emotional side. And over the years, I've noticed something interesting. There are two kinds of people. The first group says, if someone does this every single day, I'd rather have it done right. The second group thinks, how hard can it be? Neither is wrong, but here's the real problem. Most people making this decision have no idea what's actually involved yet. They've never settled an estate before. They don't know what mistakes are dangerous. They don't know what they don't even know. So they start doing it themselves. Not because they're confident, but because they don't have enough information yet to make a better decision. And that's usually when the stress starts. Am I doing this correctly? Did I miss something? What happens if I make a mistake? So in this video, I'm going to help you figure out when an estate is simple enough to handle yourself, or when it's more complicated than it looks. The difference between probate and trust administration, and when hiring a lawyer is actually protecting you, not just costing you money. I've seen the exact same pattern happen hundreds of times. Sometimes the trustee or executor thinks, let me at least start to handle this myself first. And honestly, that's reasonable. Usually they're organized, responsible, smart with money. And during grief, having something concrete to focus on can even feel comforting. So they begin to gather the paperwork. They call the banks, they read through the documents. And at first, it feels manageable. But then something unexpected happens. Maybe a bank refuses to release information. Maybe a form just doesn't make sense. Maybe there's a deadline that they didn't even know existed. Maybe one beneficiary starts asking difficult questions. And suddenly, the feeling changes. It goes from, I think I can handle this, to, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be looking for. That's the moment that this stops feeling like paperwork and it starts feeling risky. So do you need a lawyer? Legally, no. But that's actually the wrong question. The better question is, would having a lawyer make this easier, safer, and less stressful? And in many situations, the answer is yes, because this isn't really about, can I do this myself? It's about what happens if I accidentally do something wrong. Let's go back to the painting the bathroom example. You block off your Saturday. You head to Home Depot. You buy the paint, you tape the walls, and 3 hours later you realize you bought the wrong finish, and the edges look terrible, and the project is taking twice as long as you expected. Annoying? Absolutely. But permanent? No. You can repaint it, or you can hire someone. Life moves on. Estate administration is different, because here, mistakes can create consequences that follow you for years. Maybe money gets distributed too early. Maybe a required notice never gets sent. Maybe you handle something informally with your sibling and then later it gets questioned. Now you're not dealing with a crooked paint line. You're dealing with delays, conflict, potential liability, and people emotionally tied to every decision that you make. That's a completely different level of pressure. So here's what most people misunderstand. An estate can look simple while secretly being complicated underneath. People say things like, it's just a house and a few bank accounts. But that's not what determines complexity. The real questions are the documents clear? Were the assets titled correctly? Is the family aligned? Are there debts? Are there tax issues? Is probate required? Is there anyone likely to challenge decisions later? Even one of those pieces goes sideways and everything becomes harder very quickly. And most people don't discover the complexity up front. They discover it while they're already in the middle of it, handling it. And honestly, the legal work may not be the hardest part. Usually the family dynamics are, because even families that get along can change once grief, money, stress, and inheritance enter the picture. One misunderstanding, one delayed response, one sentence like, that doesn't seem fair, and suddenly the emotional temperature changes completely. Now you're not just handling paperwork, you're defending decisions, managing expectations, trying to keep the peace. And meanwhile, you're still expected to follow all the legal rules that you may not fully understand yourself yet. That's where many trustees start feeling trapped. This is where people begin seeing a lawyer differently. Lawyers are meant to offer the trustee protection, to be a guide, a buffer, someone who understands the process before problems occur. Because sometimes the greatest value of a lawyer isn't just the legal knowledge, it's removing the pressure from you. Now it's not, why are you saying no? It's, that's what my lawyer tells me the process requires. And that can completely change the family dynamics. A lot of people hesitate to get help because they think, I should be able to handle this myself. But being a trustee or executor isn't just an honor, it's a big responsibility. And responsibilities don't become less meaningful just because you ask for guidance. In many cases, getting help is the responsible decision. So don't ask, can I do this myself? Ask, how much risk am I comfortable carrying alone? Because that answer is usually what makes the decision clear. And if you've already stepped into the role of trustee, one of the very first things you may need is a tax ID number for the trust. And that process confuses a lot of people. So in the next video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to get a trust tax ID number, step by step, what it's used for, and when you need one, and the mistakes to avoid. I'll see you there.